Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give you the most effective steps to deal with a hacked WordPress site. If you're new here, my name is Julian and I work at BlockVault, which helps over 1 million sites with flawless backups. Today, I'll show you the most important steps to find malware, clean it, and perform damage control. You can use the chapters below to skip ahead if you're in a hurry, but don't miss the end of the video because I'll share some important tips for preventing such hacks and damage control. Alright, let's begin. Number 1. Is my WordPress site hacked? The first step is to confirm whether your website is really hacked. Here are some common symptoms. If you don't know how to check for some of these symptoms, just comment below and I'll help you out. Now, whether you have seen several or none of these symptoms, they are not a 100% conclusive indicator of a hack. The trouble with hacks is that they're designed to be unpredictable. Hackers want to confuse you in order to extract as much as they can from your websites for as long as possible. For instance, you might see a symptom like a malicious redirect once and then not see it ever again. So you might think it was just some kind of an error instead of a proper hack. It is quite difficult to determine if you have malware on your website unless you run a malware scan on it. So let's look at the two main effective ways to scan your website. Number 1, deep site scan with a security plugin. These malware scanner plugins have been designed by experts who have a deep understanding of WordPress and how to find hidden malware. As of now, there are only two that are actually effective, MalCare and Wordfence. You can check out a detailed comparison between the two in the video linked above. We recommend MalCare for a number of reasons, but mainly because other security plugins, including Wordfence, mainly rely on file matching or signature matching to identify malware. It is an imperfect mechanism and leads to false positives and missed malware issues. Without going too deep into technicalities, if a malware has a new variant, which obviously won't be there in these matching lists, then the mechanism fails right there. MalCare does not rely on file matching or signature matching to identify malware. It has a sophisticated algorithm that thoroughly checks your website's code using over 100 metrics. This makes it the most effective way to identify malware, and the best part is it's completely free to use. I'll add a link in the description as well as above. I suggest you take a minute to start the scan and come back to finish watching the video. Front-end scan with online security scanner. The second alternative is to use an online security scanner like Sucuri site check. Bear in mind though that not all scanners are built the same. Online security scanners are always less efficient than security plugins. These online scanners only have access to the publicly visible parts of your website, but unfortunately, malware are not considered enough to only attack the publicly visible files. Malware can hide anywhere and in fact will hide in places that front-end scanners just cannot reach. That's why the deep scans done by security plugins like MalCare and Wordfence are most effective. Our advice is to use an online security scanner as the first line of diagnostics. However, a word of caution, do not rely exclusively on lists of hacked files that the online scanner has given you. These are just the ones that the scanner was able to flag. There are potentially many more instances of malicious code which you will discover only when you run a deep scan with a security plugin. Number 2, how to clean a hacked WordPress site. Now that you know for sure that your website is hacked, the next steps are going to be clear. Don't worry, you have already gotten ahead of the uncertainty and stress of finding out what is wrong with your website. Now the only thing left to do is to clean it. There are 3 ways in which you can clean up your hacked site. Number 1, clean up malware with a security plugin. Number 2, clean up malware manually. Number 3, outsource cleanup to an expert. We will evaluate each of these one by one. Number 1, clean up malware with a security plugin. There are many security plugins in the market. It can quickly become difficult to choose the right one for you. From our experience of cleaning thousands of sites, we have identified 4 necessary identifiers of an effective cleanup plugin, which I'll put up here. Okay, now we know what we need to get the maximum bang for our buck. So let's look at the top 3 security plugins in the market and how well they fulfill these 4 metrics. MalCare is the only plugin on this list that fulfills all 4 criteria of our ideal cleanup plugin. It is able to do this because of its powerful self-learning algorithm. This algorithm enables it to catch even the smallest traces of malware, clean the site instantly, and even prevent the same hack from returning again. The main benefit here is that it is the fastest and most affordable cleanup solution. I'll add a link in the description below. Sucuri is quite a well-known name in WordPress security. When I conducted a scan using both the free and the premium scanner, neither actually found any malware, which was quite worrying. However, when I reached out to their customer support, they found the malware and cleaned it in about 12 hours. They also removed the Google blacklist warning, which did save me some effort. In conclusion, I'd say that Sucuri's scanner might not be reliable, but its cleanup service is effective. The only issue is that Sucuri is quite complex to set up and its cleanup services are quite slow. Wordfence is well known for its threat reports that feature the latest vulnerabilities in the WordPress ecosystem. Scanning on Wordfence is free, so I ran a quick scan which found most of the malware. Their cleanup service costs $500 and takes about 4 hours or more. I still paid for the cleanup to check the efficiency and found that they did indeed clean all the malware in a few hours. So, to summarize, Wordfence has effective cleanups and gives you a lot of custom controls for managing security. However, it's too expensive. Here's a table covering the pros and cons of each malware removal plugin. You can pause the video and go over this. But if you ask me, I'd recommend MalCare again because it is the fastest and most effective solution which also does not burn a hole in your pocket. Full disclosure, you may see me recommending MalCare and wonder if I'm being biased. See, the BlogWall team has helped in building the MalCare plugin, but I'm being 100% unbiased here and sharing only the facts with you. I am so confident in fact that I'm ready to put my money where my mouth is. If you try MalCare and it is not able to clean up your hack, I can promise you a money-back guarantee, no questions asked. This is how confident I am that MalCare is actually the most effective malware cleanup tool in the market. Clean up malware manually. It is possible to remove malware manually from your website. However, we keep advising against it because there's a high risk of something going wrong. If you liken a hack to an illness, you would prefer a qualified surgeon is performing your life-saving surgery, right? Imagine trying to remove your appendix yourself, and you'll get to where I'm going with this analogy. So hire a security expert or use one of the malware removal plugins we've discussed in the previous section. You can then skip to the next chapter, which will help you conduct damage control and future prevention of such hacks. However, if you are still convinced of doing a manual cleanup, I'll make a step-by-step tutorial for manual cleanups and link it above. Number 3, outsource malware cleanup. There's also another option in case you don't want to deal with malware at all. Here's a list of WordPress experts who might charge you a little bit more but provide really dependable service. They are well known for their expertise. You will find vendors on Fiverr, but I would not recommend them due to a lack of reliability. Number 3, how to revert damage after removing hacks. Once your website is free from malware, you can now focus on reverting the damage caused by the hack. Number 1, regaining access to your website. Contact your web host once you are done with the cleaning and ask them to rescan your website. You can also detail the steps you have taken in order to resolve the issue. Invariably, this will result in your access being restored and your site being back online. Number 2, getting your site removed from Google's blacklist. If your website landed up on Google's blacklist, then you need to request a review. You can do that by going into your Google Search Console and clicking on Security Issues. There, you should see an alert for harmful content detailing which files contain them. At the very bottom of this alert, you will find a button to request a review. You have to undertake that you have fixed the issues and provide a detailed explanation of all the steps you took for each issue listed. Once the request is submitted, you should hear the outcome of the request in a few days. Number 3, brand damage control. This step is purely optional and it is just advice. As we will talk about later, hacks almost always damage reputation. If you can publicly acknowledge what happened, what steps you took to fix it, and how you plan to prevent it in the future, honesty goes a long way in rebuilding relationships, and there have been instances where well-handled hacks have led to increased brand value. How to prevent WordPress website from getting hacked. One of the worst parts about malware is that it keeps coming back, either through backdoors or through exploiting the same vulnerabilities as before. Here's a tried and tested checklist that can help prevent future hacks. If you want to know more about any of these steps, just comment below and I'll quickly make another video about it. Here are the key takeaways for this video. There are 4 main steps to deal with a hacked WordPress site. Number 1, scan site to find malware. Number 2, clean malware from site. Number 3, revert damages. Number 4, take preventive steps. And if you're still watching, please do hit that like button because it really motivates us to make more such videos for you. That's all for today. I hope you have a great day ahead. I'll see you next time.